So welcome everybody. My name is Erin Navin. I'm the Communications Advisor for the Mayor. The Mayor is going to be delivering a statement today on behalf of the Board of Police Commissioners, and then he'll take questions and answers after that. So with that, go ahead.
You guys are all good to go? Okay. I am speaking to you today in my capacity as a member of the Regina Board of Police Commissioners, and I'll now share a statement on behalf of the board. In April of 2025, the Public Complaints Commission, also known as the PCC, informed the Regina Board of Police Commissioners, the board, that it was reviewing a complaint filed by a community member against Regina Police Chief Farooq Sheikh. Chief Sheikh was then placed on temporary leave from active duty during the independent investigation to ensure a fair, objective process took place, free from any influence. The PCC has now completed the investigation and reported its findings to the board. The board, as the civilian oversight body responsible for the Chief of Police, has reviewed the report and accepts the findings. We respect the integrity of the investigation process and thank the Public Complaints Commission for their thorough work. The board recognizes the complainant's sensitivity to be identified publicly. We do not see it necessary to specify the complainant's name and leave that decision to the complainant. The complaint was based on allegations of misconduct and inappropriate communications between Chief Sheikh and the complainant while the complainant served as a member of the Board of Police Commissioners. The allegations were investigated as two possible major discipline offenses under Section 36 of the Municipal Police Discipline Regulations. I will deal with these two findings separately. Firstly, the complaint alleged that the chief improperly used his position to influence or impact the board member in two ways. The first way was during board deliberations regarding amendments sought by the chief to his employment contract. The PCC recommended that these allegations be concluded as unsubstantiated. The second way was centered around an allegation that the chief used influence that affected the board member's continued appointment to the board. The investigation reported no evidence that the chief exercised any improper influence in that regard. Secondly, the PCC investigated an allegation of the major discipline offense of discreditable conduct. The PCC recommended that this be concluded as substantiated. This means the PCC was satisfied that the investigation evidence showed the police chief acted in a manner that is unbecoming of a chief of police and in a way that is dishonorable to the Regina Police Service. The investigation evidence showed that Chief Sheikh engaged in inappropriate private communications with the complainant over several months that demonstrated a significant and continuing lapse in professional judgment and conduct inconsistent with Regina Police Service core values. Key evidence pertaining to these private communications included ongoing communications between the chief and the board member that was kept from other board members of the board and the Regina Police Service. The chief and board member engaged in an exchange of text messages during and related to an in-camera discussion from which the chief had been excused while the board discussed amendments to his contract. Chief Sheikh has suggested to the complainant that text messages between them be deleted as discovery of their communications became at risk. The chief later characterized the nature of the communications to a member of the board and to the PCC investigator in a matter that seriously offends the core RPS values of integrity, transparency, and accountability. Overall, the chief did not take responsibility for his conduct. Based on the investigation findings, the board has made the decision to terminate Chief Sheikh's employment contract with cause. The board feels strongly that a change in leadership is necessary to ensure continued public trust and confidence in the Regina Police Service. The board is confident in the leadership Deputy Chief Davies has provided as acting chief, and she will remain in this role for the present time. We understand the situation has been difficult and complex and recognize the impact on those involved. The investigation's conclusion is important, not only for those involved, but for the broader community. The board and the public care deeply about the integrity of our police leadership. This situation also emphasizes the importance of individuals feeling safe and supported when bringing forward concerns about the Regina Police Service or its members. A system of independent review that was applied in this situation is absolutely critical to ensure public complaints are thoroughly investigated through a fair and neutral, respectful process. So with that, I can take any questions you may have.
Mayor, I'm just wondering, so this has to do with texts he was having with the complainant while the board was discussing terms of his employment, and he was asking about what those discussions were about. Do I have that correct?
So there were inappropriate text messages during an in-camera discussion where the police chief was excused from that part of the meeting.
And what was that meeting about?
It was to do with his employment contract, discussions and considerations for amendments to his employment contract.
Will the city have to compensate the chief, or the former chief, now that he is now not chief?
Compensate in which way do you mean?
Like, because he's been fired with cause.
Right.
Is there any compensation in doing that? Was he going to receive any outstanding compensation, or I don't know if severance or whatever the right term is?
So with cause termination, there would be no severance to be paid.
I guess just is your position as mayor right now, just how are you feeling about where this police service is at, given these findings?
So I'll maybe say two things. One, I appreciate the work, the thorough investigation that the PCC did. This was completely driven through the PCC. I appreciate all the work that they did. Obviously, it took time, but that time was well served to do a thorough investigation. I appreciate that work, and I know so does the board. At the end of the day, our job as the board is to maintain public trust in the police service. The decision today is to make sure that we are committed to maintaining public trust in our police service. Secondly, we have all the confidence in acting Chief Davies to carry us forward for the time being. She's a 29-year member of the service, has amazing community involvement, a strong leader in our community, and we know that we have someone strong to lead us forward beyond today.
Is the job search already started, or is the city looking for a new police chief right away?
So it will be the board that discusses that. This is the information we're presenting today. The board will have discussions going forward about what those next steps will look like.
And is the complainant a member of the commission currently?
So I won't comment on, just out of respect for privacy, leaving the complainant's name or position out of the context of this investigation.
I guess given this is a with cause termination, are you as a member of the board and as the city concerned about any potential legal action which the former chief may take against the city and the board given this termination?
We will obviously react to anything that comes of that, but our position is that we're confident in the decision that we're making today and stand behind it fully.
Have you had a chance to talk to the complainant personally at all over the course of this, or what would you say to this person?
No, I haven't talked to the complainant. Just out of respect for privacy and being an independent review from the PCC. My hope is to the general public is that we've demonstrated that this board takes these complaints very seriously, and that we do have a mechanism through third party that we can follow through that process.
Do you feel like it will be hard for the public to maybe trust the police on concerning that, the chief's been let go? This comment, do you feel like some people will be skeptical about the police going forward?
I think we've demonstrated that we hold our police service to a very high standard, and the decision today, I think, indicates that. And I believe that we are making this decision in response to make sure that we maintain the public trust.
I guess some people may ask, why did it take so long and why was there so little information given until now? I guess, can you kind of explain that?
So the PCC led the investigation. This was not driven by the board. It was a complaint given right to the PCC. The timeline is 100% controlled by the PCC. Given the high-profile nature of this and the complexities, I don't think it was abnormal the time that it took, but obviously we want to make sure a thorough investigation was completed, and it was the PCC driving that.
It's kind of a unique situation. What are you going to do in the future to avoid that situation to happen again?
That's a good question. I think this is something that the board will reflect on and see if there's any lessons learned from the process, from the investigation or otherwise. So again, we're dealing with the investigation in front of us at the moment, and we'll obviously reflect on how the process went for sure.
I guess, how is it going to be hard to avoid maybe this coming up again, like when you're talking about a person's contract and whatnot, and them not being there, and making sure that, they're not talking to anyone while you're in discussion? Is that going to be something that would be hard to make sure that doesn't happen?
What I would say is these were decisions made by an individual on how to act in a situation. We hold people, especially those in positions of authority, and especially those of our Regina Police Service, to a very high standard. That is the expectation. These were decisions and actions taken by an individual, so I wouldn't say you paint every person with the same brush. This is a result of individual actions by an individual person.
This is now the second time in the matter of a few months where in your first term as mayor you've had to terminate somebody who was hired by the previous iteration of council and of the board. Just how does that make you feel, and how do you feel like as mayor over the next few years you could do better?
I think what I would say is those are two unique, different situations. At the end of the day, my job and my colleagues' job, whether it's on the Board of Police or Council, is to take the information, take the facts, and make sure that we don't stand for any inappropriate behavior in the context of this investigation.
I'm just wondering about the investigation's findings in terms of why these two individuals were texting. What did it find about that? Did they have a relationship at all?
So the information that I'm providing today is the level of detail that was essentially agreed upon by the PCC to share. So the level of detail in terms of that, I can't speculate on any rumors or anything like that, but the level of detail that I'm sharing today is the level of detail that the PCC is putting out publicly, essentially.
And do you know if the former chief is still in Regina, or has he left?
I can't comment on his particular whereabouts. I think that just out of privacy.
You had mentioned that some of the chief's comments during the investigation had violated RPS's values, and that was part of the decision and findings. Can you elaborate on what those values were?
Well, we talk about respectful professional service for RPS, and it was clear from the investigation and the outcome of the actions being taken by the former chief that it was inappropriate and not in alignment with those values. That was clear in the actions that were taken, and therefore the decision to terminate was, in my view and the board's view, is the appropriate one.
All good? Thanks everyone very much for
Thanks,
coming out
everyone.
today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.